What is up, everyone? What is up? And apparently it's not my camera. Hold on. The good old-fashioned turn it off and back on again, and it works. Go figure. I don't know. I just stream here, man. What's everyone up to on this fine Tuesday? I know I didn't stream yesterday. Normally I stream on Mondays. Man plans, God laughs. Like I have been talking about, I've been doing a whole bunch of repairs, and it's taken a lot longer than I hoped, but we finally finished up the big project. Now I'm working on the ham radio stuff. The what's up, Hans? What's up, Vampire? Now I'm working on the ham radio stuff like I was talking about. That equipment should be here tomorrow. It was supposed to be in today, but somehow it got delayed. And I was hoping to actually be home earlier tonight, but I ended up having to stay late at work, and then, of course, I still had to get my workout in with one of my buddies, so, you know, that happened. The mini laptop. Yeah, I've been working on the mini laptop, a little bit here and there. I was hoping to go tear it down tonight so we could actually, start, putting the better Wi-Fi and everything in there. Did I scuff the top? Good. Alright, well, anyway, I was planning to, you know, take this apart, because basically, I can at least show you the plan, but I'm probably going to need more time to, like, take the motherboard out, so I can, reposition everything, because basically what I need to do is take the motherboard out, the daughter board out as well, and get this ready for DEF CON, because I want this as my little mini note-taking device, because when I was at both B-Sides and DEF CON last year, the biggest issue that I had was I wanted a small device to take notes, and you don't have a table to put your laptop on, like you do at some, you know, other tech conferences, especially the small ones. But I could at least get away with, like, a small laptop. And, you know, like, a 14-inch laptop you think is not that big until you're having to balance it on your lap, turn it on, everything there. What's up, Stabby the Abbey? Bedrock, what's up? I want to see how the box is wired up. What box? The little laptop or the ham radio and all that? I will have some dedicated content on the ham radio and everything. Full disclaimer, I may not have that video all together until either I'm at DEF CON or after DEF CON. I'm probably going to record the footage that I need for the equipment, then edit it while I'm on the plane or something. Well, maybe not while I'm on the plane. It's not a long trip to Vegas, no matter where you are in the States. But it's, usually the plane is the time I take to catch up on some reading or study, because what's probably going to end up happening is I have my ham radio test at the end of the month is what I scheduled it for. And then I want to pivot into doing my CCSP studies. I figure I can knock that out probably in a month or two, because the CCSP, as difficult in terms of concepts as it can be, what's up, Jordy? I don't know if I said hi to you over on the tubes, isn't nearly as in-depth as the CISSP. The ham radio white bot you said is for the intent. Oh, the box? That's not really going to be all that complicated. I can show you the equipment that's going to go into that. The main reason I did that was for weatherproofing for the wire connections, similar to what any other telco will do. Like, we'll get into that in a second. I just wanted to show you what my plans are for the mini laptop before I get to ADHD here. Speaking of ADHD, I went to my doctor today because I haven't been feeling myself for quite a few months. And I think it was time for me to get back on ADHD medication. So, you want to hear some BS? I have to get reevaluated for ADHD. I haven't had to get evaluated since I was like 5, 6, 7 years old whenever I was evaluated. Like, that's, like, I was one of the kids with responsible parents that are actually like, I'm going to get my kid properly evaluated before I throw them on, freaking, pills because they're bouncing off the walls. Maybe they're just a kid that's high energy, and they're like, nope, your kid's ADHD. So I got to go see a psychologist to go get, legal stimulant prescriptions for my medication. In the meantime, they put me on a non-stimulant to see how that'll work. It's one of those I'm just trying to figure out. Can I use AI like ChatGPT and Linux? Is Linux best for cybersecurity? Yeah, to both. You can use ChatGPT and Linux. In fact, I was playing with Amazon Q earlier. ChatGPT is mostly just run on the web. You can use it with an API. You can run LM Studio locally and run like DeepSeek and all that kind of stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, at work, we're playing with Amazon Q, which it's built on top of Claude. And oh my God. But first, let's talk laptop. We'll get into all of that in a second. So for those of you that haven't been here before, this is the MNT Pocket Reform. Now, I'm going to use the feature that I set up recently, and we're going to zoom. Wait, wrong button. I hit the record button on my camera. We're going to zoom. Wow. Look at that quality of a zoom. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Woo. Woo. Extreme close-up. Wait. We can do the Wayne's World. Hold up. Have y'all seen Wayne's World? Whoa! No, I gotta do that right, because I got the camera, pinned over here. Hold on. Extreme close-up cam. Whoa! Get out my face, yo. Okay, sorry. But anyway, this is the MNT Pocket Reform, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this so you can actually get a better view. But isn't this nice, this camera for zooming and everything? Like, don't get me wrong, the OBS Bot Tiny 2 that I've been using for a while is great, but you can't beat that Sony ZVE mechanical zoom. You really can't. Like, look at that. That is nice. Anyway, so this is the IMX8M CPU over here. Hold on, you've got that. It's kind of hard to look. That's the IMX8M CPU. I think it's a quad core if I remember. And there's, I want to say 8 gigabytes of memory in here. As well as 32 gigs of eMMC. Hold on. I think 32. No, maybe more. That is replaceable. Eventually I'll upgrade it, but I'm not getting around to that now. The main reason, that's one of the reasons I love it, is it's open source and it's right to repair friendly. So there's two M.2 slots, if you notice over here. So this one over here is an M.2 for NVMe. So obviously I'm gonna slap an NVMe in there. Now the other one over here, that's where I can put a cell modem, because if you notice, right, hold on, I'm looking at the camera, the video, right here, that's a SIM card slot. So I'm planning to put a 4G cell modem in here with a 5G antenna, so if I ever do upgrade, because 5G modems are very, very expensive, that's how it is. That's where I'm going to put it. Now, the main thing, here, hold on, let's keep the camera here. The main issue I'm having is the wireless antenna. So if you notice right here, the thing that says Molex, that, hold on, is that it? Yeah, that's the wireless antenna. The problem that I have with this, and this is one of those cool things you learn about when you get into amateur radio, is the signal propagation. Because if you look at it, it's got this thin plastic over here. So it's radiating out and up. But it's blocked by the original PCB backing, which is around here somewhere, and the new aluminum backplate I had manufactured by PCBWay, which will be sponsoring the upcoming YouTube video, by the way. Yeah. So the idea is I'm eventually going to remove that Wi-Fi antenna here. And I have another Wi-Fi antenna we're going to move, install. So the idea is, let me zoom back out for a sec. I didn't even open this up. It's got mechanical keys on it. It's really nice. Super clicky. So the idea is that I'm going to have with this is I was thinking of putting the Wi-Fi antenna somewhere down here in the bezel and then putting a 5G cell antenna over here. I can put 2 for better signal. What I was debating was, do I want to put 2 cell signal antennas there or just keep one attached to the primary and then put Wi-Fi on the other? So I guess it comes down to if I can put it down there or there. See you later, Toaster. How's the job market? I'm a Linux admin and feel like there's almost always positions. The job market is... we were talking to a recruiter. They say it's been one of the toughest years last year. But yeah. It's kind of tough out there for juniors. Yeah, it is a great laptop. It's designed for right to repair. So the reason why we're not going to take it apart right now is I wanted to carefully see about taking out this entire thing, because what I think I'm going to have to do is, well, the Wi-Fi antenna can just be dropped down here. That's easy. It's plastic over there. Drop that. And I can fit that behind the plastic film and everything. The gaps over here are what I need to get access to. And that would require me to open this up quite a bit more, because I'm going to have to pop this bezel out and then run a cable through. Now, where I'm not so sure about is if I'm going to have to remove the motherboard to do it. But I think, judging by some of the gaps there, I should be able to creatively route some of the cables to fit the cell modem. So that's why I want to take time, because I don't want to rush this. I want to sit down and give myself at least 3 hours to sit down, do this cautiously. Steam is coming to ARM, so you can eventually game on it. If I would on this, I would do it when I get the CPU upgrade for this. So I am planning to, I forgot what the CPU is, but it's a much more powerful. The SoC comes with 16 or 32 gigabytes of memory. There's 2 choices. I'm going to get the 32 gig version. Yeah. But I would love to use this laptop at DEF CON because it's powered by USB-C PD. Now, even in my little testing with the battery, I'm closing it up right now before we get into my other things. I'm going to read the chat in a second. Passively cool? Yeah, it's passively cool. Sorry, I've been not intentionally ignoring chat. I just obviously was focused on giving show and tell here. Sharing with the rest of the class! But what I would love about this device, now, unfortunately, it doesn't get the greatest battery life. I get like 2.5 hours in some of my tests and everything. But I haven't fully run this through the battery. But the thing I love about it is that it's got a USB-C PD port in there. So theoretically, I should be able to run this through DEF CON with a battery pack with almost no problem. Because I usually carry around a battery pack, as you should when you're traveling and stuff like that. And this should be a great note-taking device. Because the main idea is, when I go to DEF CON, I want to have a small note-taking device and, you know, a phone for recording and stuff. And yeah. So I don't want to do, I don't want to carry too much. The thing I'm noticing is every year I've gone to DEF CON, I've carried around less and less equipment. In a way, I'm carrying more, but I'm also carrying less. Like, the first year I went to DEF CON, I carried a massive amount of laptops and all of that. I was overprepared. Now I'm just like, I only need to carry this laptop and that thing to do this thing and, you know, that, and keep it a little bit more methodical. Like, I brought my soldering iron the first year, and my thought process is now, look, I can do soldering anytime. So why bother, you know, doing that? I mean, my soldering iron kit is here. I may bring it, I may not. Let's check the do you suspect to be in the spectrum? Do I suspect to be in the spectrum? Yes! This is way better to, this is way more fun now that I can do that with the camera. That's one of the things I'm going to be talking about the psychologist when I'm there. Not that they have a magic pill for the tism, because I'm going to be rizzing him with the tism. But, it'd be nice if I actually could get some tools to better handle a lot of that stuff. It's interesting, one day into Wellbutrin, don't know if it's the, pre-workout still, you know, working its ways through the veins or that, but I kind of feel good, but it's also the first day, so I know that stuff takes a while to go in. It could be a placebo. Who knows? But we'll see. I'm wondering if that's a pushback from those get ADHD medication online stuff that was recently popular. I believe that is a possibility. I really do believe that people should get properly tested and diagnosed for mental conditions, because I think there's a lot of people that are abusing the system. Which, by the way, speaking of abusing the system, I mentioned a few friends, you know, like, I'm thinking of getting back on my ADHD meds, and they're like, I'll buy them off of you. And I'm like, that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it so I feel better. So I'm more productive, because I'm on level with y'all. I've been, you know, a little out of it, like I mentioned earlier, but there's been days where I really feel like not doing anything, and I know that's not myself. So I'm just trying to figure out how to get back in that right headspace, and it's one of those, like, things are going okay, so I don't know why I'm feeling that way. Everyone has their off days. But it's also okay to not feel okay. But when you do feel not okay, go talk to someone. Figure it out. Been feeling the same way? Yeah, I can get it. Now, the reason why everyone's going through it is different. I've been going to therapy for, back in therapy, shall I say, for a little over a year now. Wait, has it been a year? Yeah, it's been about a year. I've been back in therapy. You know, do the telehealth thing. Found a person that I actually jive with. Took a while. Don't be afraid to fire your therapist, by the way. Find a therapist that works well with you. I just need someone to, you know, talk to and process things and make sure I'm not up my own butt. For real, I'm having a hard time locking on new projects. Yeah, I can feel that. Like, I've had this laptop sitting here for months, knowing what I need to do, but I haven't done it. I've only recently started to get into my ham radio stuff, and I've had the antennas for my ham radio since May. So it's been like I've been just, you know, giving myself a swift kick in the butt to be like, look, dude, you gotta, you know, do this stuff. But I also realize at a certain point, when things are wrong and I need extra help. So make sure you got good friends around you that, can put you in the right direction. Sometimes that is the problem. You go through phases in your life. I remember a few years ago, I had no friends, particularly because some of my friends passed on due to certain substance abuses. Things are bad, okay? And it was a hard place. You figure out they're making wrong choices in their life and you need to move on, do your thing. I also had a few friends, no joke, that were getting jealous that I was doing better with my life and I was, pulling myself up and, trying to do something with my life. Some people will want to keep you down. Now, look, I don't care if you're religious or not. You can be a good person without God for all I care. But I do believe that God puts everyone in your life for a reason, but it's up to you to figure it out. And not everyone that comes into your life is there forever, but they may be there to get you to the next way station. Some people are meant to be there in your life, but that's something you got to figure out. Been through a couple, I agree. Find a good one. Yep. Wellbutrin is a very mild stimulant. Yeah. Kind of weird how they classify where the stimulant is. Might cut out. Chief got a microscope. Shader. I still got the ADHD, intrusive thoughts going on. I use OpenRouter. I haven't played with OpenRouter. Chief, you still need to make an uwu mesh bot. I will get around to it. Look. I've been trying to do, a lot of my projects, and that's why I've been trying to give myself a swift kick in the pants, because I know I should have the ability to get back to doing my tinkering and everything. I've just kind of lost that spark, and I haven't been feeling myself. So I'm getting back to it. A lot of where this whole situation started, just so that you're aware. My father, as I've told y'all, he's not mentally well. But he never took his mental health serious, and he took it out on everyone else. And unfortunately, it's the stereotypical thing with a lot of boomers where they were spoiled children and their parents never actually taught them boundaries and accountability and that actions have consequences. And my dad was starting to face consequences for his actions, and he didn't like the fact that I was holding him accountable. And, he embezzled funds from his business partner, who happened to be a family friend. And my dad did not like the fact that I ethically have a backbone. And I said, that's not cool. This is wrong. And I audited my dad's own statements to point out every single expense to the business partner that was not a valid one. And my dad's still being taken to task for a lot of that stuff. Don't get me wrong. I love my dad. He's mentally ill. But let me make this very clear. You are not responsible nor at fault for being mentally ill. You are responsible for taking care of your mental illness and the actions that result thereof from it. Does that make sense? Anyway, that took a toll out of me. It took a whole toll on me where I've just been reeling from it because I had to cut off my dad, block him. My dad was threatening to actually make a scene where I work to, try to get me fired and make up a whole bunch of lies and everything like that. Mental illness, everything. So you can imagine how that was draining you. There was a whole period when I stopped making content for like 2 months almost, if y'all remember. Yeah. So I've been working on getting, to improve myself, get back to where I need to be, going to the gym, hanging out with friends, getting back out there to, be social like I used to be, getting back to my hobbies like tinkering, content, and all the interests and everything. And, but I'm thankful for where I am right now, and I know I still got a journey and everything. Not just the one to Vegas for DEF CON, but we have a journey ahead of us for a lot of our projects, and I'm hoping that anyone out there that's actually, on these streams, I don't know how many people are watching right now, can take, if you're feeling through the same way, look, everyone has their struggles, everyone has their off days, and it's okay to be not okay. Whether you're feeling burnout from your job, feeling imposter syndrome from, your job or, whatever you're doing, because I know that's a big problem in tech, or many other things. The best thing to do is not wallow in that pity and, kick yourself. I did that for a while. It's not going to help anyone. Just take it easy on yourself. You'll get there, buddy. Back to the chat, though. Steam's coming on. Yeah, I talked about that. I don't know if I'll game on this laptop until I get the better CPU, but, what was the CPU for this? Hold on. Let's go to MNT. So if you aren't really familiar with this, it's MNT Research. So this company only deals in open source hardware. Now, the company is so open source, I found them on Mastodon. That is literally their only social media. They are that open source. They only are on open source social media. I think they have like a YouTube or something like that, but they don't do that much with it. But they apparently are well known in the open source community. So this is the MNT Reform. I got it a little bit cheaper because it was on a discount. Well, I'm looking at getting the RK3588. That's what it was. Comes in purple or deep black. And you get Kale white clicky switches, what I have, or Red Pro linears. But, hold on, let me see. We can get the... Hold on. There we are. What's this? Looks like they have a new, what is this? I remember this module here, but this is a little bit different. That looks totally different. Wait, did they add a Wi-Fi card there? Is that a Wi-Fi card? Yeah, that's Wi-Fi. I'm just checking it out. Hold on. Yeah, that's Wi-Fi. So, what? I'm a little confused. Because they, I know they were talking about making a new version. Maybe I was a little, that was what I think I was waiting for. They were talking about having a new version that was going to keep the Wi-Fi, because the issue that I had was if I installed this, it didn't have a Wi-Fi card built in. So what the problem was going to be was that the Wi-Fi would be replacing where I was going to put the cell modem. This could potentially be fixing some things. Okay, so let's read this. Recommend selecting the optional AX. Oh, it's an Intel AX210 Wi-Fi Bluetooth module. Cool. Optional NVMe storage. So you can add that. But I already got my NVMe. So what I'm curious about is where does that plug in? Is that the headset module? Yeah. So they're replacing the Wi-Fi antenna. Or is it just... Oh, is it just going to sit on top? Well, I know what I'm going to get in a few months. I might get that after I get back from DEF CON. Because, yeah, that looks nice. Because what I was thinking of doing was not removing... So I was originally planning to remove the Wi-Fi antenna on here. But what I may do instead... Because there's a very good possibility The Wi-Fi issues in this laptop may actually be the chipset in the MX-M Plus. And I've been wanting to get the RK3588 because the RK3588 is a nice CPU. I mean, can you imagine packing 32 gigabytes of memory, 256 gigabytes of eMMC, and what is this, an 8-core CPU? Yeah, 8-core CPU in this little guy. That'd be wicked fast. And it's capable of doing OpenGL 3.3 gaming and emulation. You can do some nice stuff. So let me see. There's some manuals here. Okay, it's a Firefly iCore 3588Q package. It's got dual PCIe controllers, dual display capable. Good. FPC connector, so it's using FPC. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it would tie in. Seems like a pretty easy install. Now, the way they're doing it is they want the antenna. Okay, I see what they're doing. So this is a different package, I think. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. I'm trying to figure out the positioning of this. If that is by the Wi-Fi, so that would be the Wi-Fi antenna there. But it looks like... Hold up. Let me open this back up. I just want to... What is the application? Have you experienced with any hardware hacking or absolutely zero experience? I've done a little bit of hardware hacking. I remember back in the day what we had to do to get our more than 5 GPUs to be detected on Bitcoin mining rigs back in the day when we were using GPUs for Bitcoin mining. We had to do a PCI Express presence detection short. We had to short across a couple of pins. I'd strip out the, what was it, 14 gauge wire or so from Ethernet, jump that into 1 or 2 of the PCI Express connectors, and that's how we made it detect the 5th and 6th GPUs. This was before there were dedicated motherboards to do this. This was before Windows actually allowed you to address more than 4 GPUs, so you had to use Linux. In fact, cryptocurrency is ironically the way that I ended up in my cybersecurity and professional IT career, delving as deep into Linux as I did. I wasn't a crypto bro, never was a crypto bro. I am a technology guy, and it was just like, oh, digital money, this is an interesting concept. Let me tinker. Okay, so I pulled the top off here. Ooh, sexy. That's what I thought. Okay. So they reworked the package over here. So I'm going to zoom in over here. All right. So they reworked the package. So before, we had to remove the we had to put a Wi-Fi card in here, and we would not have the capability to put a cell modem. So it looks like what that piece is this guy over here. Let me pull up the camera a little bit better. it looks like it's this module over here that we end up replacing, which ends up replacing this Wi-Fi antenna slot over here. So ultimately, I would be removing this entire PCB to put a new wireless antenna, and it looks like it sticks out a little bit, a Wi-Fi card, not antenna, and I'd still have to install a new wireless antenna. Now, the interesting thing is, if we go back into the picture over here, bear with me for a second. So that only allowed for one Wi-Fi antenna connection. Okay. But if I recall, the Intel AX210 allows for 2. Now, you don't need 2. You don't need 2 antennas. But 2 of anything is almost always a more fun time.
She even got me on camera.
But yeah, this looks like the route that I'm probably going to be going with this. So I just need to tinker, get my MNT Pocket Reform hopefully to a manageable state, that the cell modem and the Wi-Fi modem on the IMX8M Plus works well enough, and then when I get back from DEF CON, I can hopefully place an order for this, and then a couple months down the line, this should be my daily laptop exactly to the way that I want it. Like, this is exactly what I wanted. And the only reason I didn't get the RK3588 early on was because I dropped the Wi-Fi. This remedies that. I didn't expect that this was the solution they were going to go with, but it makes complete sense. Now, the question that I have... Oh, and by the way, did you see iFixit has a repair guide? They gave, I think this is a 10 on 10. What's the OS on it? Hans. You've been on my streams how long? What OS do you think is on it? I'm gonna give you 2 guesses, and the first one don't count. No, it's not Pop OS. It's Debian. It's running a Debian unstable because of the drivers and all that. But it is Linux, you know. Pop OS doesn't run on... Well, it does run on ARM. They have a Raspberry Pi version, but not for this. Okay, so... Installation. If your bundle includes... Okay, so it comes with a... Okay, replace the Molex antenna with the included one and attach the new antenna to the back plate in the location shown in the picture. If your back plate is black on the inside instead of semi-transparent as shown in the photo, we recommend you upgrade to the new back plate available in the M&T shop for better Wi-Fi reception. So the reason why I replaced my back plate, just so you're aware, was there were 2 issues that we had with it. One, thermals. 2, Wi-Fi reception. So the reason why they're offering this backplate, by the way, is because they had an issue where, do you see how the copper is in the PCB here? They accidentally had PCBWay put copper throughout. They Faraday caged their own case. So this is to possibly replace that. So I may order this backplate and the Wi-Fi, but I'm still gonna, you know, position the Wi-Fi antenna in here because I think that might be a better overall solution. Now, what I'm curious about is if I remove this little backplate over here, not backplate, this little PCB over here, that should open up the gap that I need to access Wi-Fi over here to put a card. Then I should be able to potentially put a cell antenna over here. I'm just thinking. Now, the hinges are down here. And the speaker's over here. I'm just thinking out loud. What's a more secure alternative to saving contacts on an Apple ID? I mean, Apple ID is reasonably secure. Oh, by the way, this is the backplate I was talking about. You see how it's black? Yeah, this is the one that had bad signal on it. We'll cover that later. Apple ID is reasonably secure for the average person to be, doing the tinkling. Okay, these are the Wi-Fi antennas I bought. So I bought some Wi-Fi antennas, laptop antennas. These are the ones that I'm planning to add to install. These are, Quectel 5G cell antennas I plan to install. And the idea is they will be on the sides over here in the bezels. So that should work nicely. Then I have some screws for the NVMe. These are the old battery packs I should probably throw out because one was defective. I do need to check the charging balance on it if they're still good. There's thermal pads in here. Pretty sure that's the cell modem. Yeah, that's the cell modem. That's the cell modem I'm looking at putting in. But yeah, so we have my hardware here. It's been sitting for a few months. Like I said, I've mentally not been in the right space to do the tinkering that I wanted to do. Why not external Wi-Fi dongle as a temporary solution? Because it's not clean! But also, it's a USB-C connection, and that's just kind of going to be annoying with the dongle, because I tried looking at straight USB-C Wi-Fi adapters, and they kind of don't seem to exist. Yo, I did something impressive. What'd you do? Set up OpenSense to run on a VM on my laptop and routing all traffic through it, and I gave it Alpine Linux VM complete access, so all my NIC and all my traffic must go through PF's OpenSense, similar to cubes, I think, except no struggle of cubes. I mean, that's an interesting idea, but personally, I'm more of a proponent of physical isolation of your networking hardware. Don't get me wrong, you can do it. You can. I'm not, like you said, you did it. It's cool. I'm not by any means discrediting. That's really cool. Not a lot of people can figure that out, because it does take some effort to figure that out. It's a cool idea to do. But when it comes to networking, I generally like to isolate my edge network gear because that's the ingress for the entire, that's literally standing there. That's the gateway to the world. And things are beating that up. And theoretically, it's not likely in an automated attack. If somebody's, specialized, they figure out, oh, you're doing that. There's ways they could poke holes around it. And I'd rather that physical piece of hardware be isolated to it and then to have to, hop between physical pieces of hardware. That's just my thing. But you do you. I mean, again, that's really cool. Going to DEF CON this year? It'll be my first. Probably am going to be at DEF CON. I will have more details in the Discord. If you're not already a part of the Discord that we have, the Renegade Penguin Discord, you are more than welcome to join. The links are in bio or such. Because I'm planning to do maybe a couple of hangouts. The Call Center Village is putting on a party. They're one of my friends. So, I will be there at DEF CON for sure. And then the DEF CON shoot, I will be there. That is the day before DEF CON. And then I'm probably going to be there for B-sides as well. I'll have more specifics and everything. I may create a Meshtastic chat and pre-share the key so that anyone that, you know, is part of the community can hit each other up. Of course, I'll be on Long Fast, the default network, but given those options. And I'll probably be on GMRS as well while I'm out there. Going to DEF CON, that's what we're talking about. I am planning to partake in the RF Fox hunt this year. Last year, I didn't get to do it because I wasn't... I just started doing ham after DEF CON, but I didn't have a ham radio with me. They had spare Yagi antennas, but not any handheld transceivers. Well, this year I'm coming in with my own transceiver. I got to program my Anytone DMR, but I will probably be putting on, bringing my TID radio H8 as well. That's what I was working on, my mini laptop over here. We were just talking about it, how I'm possibly going to upgrade it when I get back, as well as the upgrades that are coming for me to get it prepped for DEF CON, because I want that to be my little note-taking device. I think it's sweet. What is a good Linux coming from Windows to Linux? Any ideas? I'm more of a fan of Pop! OS. The main thing I will tell you, and I've talked about this many times in streams and videos and everything, don't get hung up on the concept of what is the best Linux, period. Think of it as, what is the best Linux for me? Because the one thing that people coming from Mac and Windows seem to not understand out the box is Mac and Windows, they design an experience and expect you to follow that experience and that workflow and everything. Linux, you have a choose your own adventure. I like my GUI to be like that. I like my GUI to be like this. Experiment a little bit. Tinker. I'm set in my ways because I've, you know, been in this field for a little over a decade. I know what I want. I'm a basic B. It is what it is. Thank you. I also had the top custom made by PCBWay. They sponsored this project. I will have a full YouTube video on that in the coming weeks. I don't know if I'll have it out before DEF CON, but it'll definitely be out after DEF CON. Same as my ham radio stuff. But back to the Linux thing. I like Pop! OS. System 76 makes it. Some people like Linux Mint. The main thing you need to know when it comes to Linuxes is, for the most part, they're all running the same packages, and, you know, the difference is how they're configured out of the box. Maybe some different concepts there, like immutability, all that. Here's the one thing I will tell you. Don't get hung up on what is the best, but what works best for me. And for the love of God, don't go straight to Arch, no matter what those, you know, people will tell you. Their parents didn't love them enough. They want you to suffer just as well. I'm kidding. I love you, Arch people, but come on, you gotta admit, you're a little bit intense there. Of course, every time I say that, Arch users pop up. Wayland or X11? I'm more favoring Wayland. I don't use it yet, but the idea around Wayland makes more sense. The problem with X11 is it's a product of its time. It's tried, it's trusted, it's mature, it's stable, it's old! And we need to move on and improve things. There's just so many issues with X11 that need to be remedied. And Wayland, I think, is going to improve that. Now, the one thing I will say is X11, even as, you know, behind the times as it may be compared to Wayland, now that Wayland's maturing more, it still handles multi DPI monitors and all that settings better than Windows does. It gets janky at work. . 1012 Zach, what is that purple box thing? That is my mini laptop. The MNT Pocket Reform. Mechanical keyboard. Fully open source. Raspberry Pi 2040 system controller. iMX8M plus CPU, totally upgradable. We'll upgrade this to an RK3588 later on, probably after DEF CON, once I recover some funds. Linux. I'm going to be installing a cell modem in here, upgrading the Wi-Fi. And this is I'm hopefully going to have as my note-taking device when I go to DEF CON. And RGB keyboard, if you can't tell. Like, look at this, look at this, look at this. Woo! Woo! Yeah, I love this little guy. So, right now it's got a quad-core CPU with 8 gigabytes of memory and 32 gigabytes of eMMC, or is it 120 gigabytes? I think it's no, it's 32. I think it's 32. Either way, the plan is eventually when I get back from DEF CON, because I gotta wait a couple of months until the upgrade will come in, it'll have an RK3588, 8-core octa-core CPU with 32 gigabytes of memory and a 256 gigabyte eMMC. I can also attach an NVMe in here and a cell modem as well. And I'm gonna spend about 680 euro. Oh God, there's tariffs. Damn it, Trump. Those tariffs are gonna kill me. I'm curious. So, I'm just curious how much that's going to run. I need to figure out the shipping costs and everything. God damn it, Trump. You think the arch people are insufferable? Wait until you run into a BSD person and... I don't know, I've met a few BSD people. They're kind of chill. Kind of. Also, you have no reason to know this, but I found out I actually passed my Calc 1 and 2 exams. Hey! Hold on. Let's get this, Hold on, is my background music not working? Oh, it is. It's just very quiet. Alright. Turn that up a little bit. Let me know if that's a little loud. You traveling out the country, maybe it's cheaper getting it elsewhere? No. Because it's still going to take a couple months to receive. But it is shipping from Germany. So the EU... Seriously, Trump does not realize how much he's freaking up the economy. That dude's a clown. To be fair, pretty much all politicians are clowns. But he is the clowniest clown to ever clown. He is king of the clowns. He is mega clown. I feel like BSD people are strictly network administration people. Pretty much. I mean, don't get me wrong. Straight up, if we're talking system architecture, I like BSD better than Linux. I said it. I said it. Fight me. Who shot me, but your pumps didn't finish? The reality is, BSD does have a better net stack. Because IP tables and net filter don't work nearly as well as PF. There's a reason why I like PF Sense. Yes, I know there's Open Sense too. But PF Sense is called that because it's using PF. Now, I forget the specifics around it when I was studying this a few years ago. But basically, I think it was that PF had not only the ability to better parse, process, and all of that with the rules and everything. Because IP tables is kind of a mess to deal with if you've ever had to deal with it. But I digress. I use Zoom most of the time, and Wayland support is awful, but I can't switch to X11 because if we didn't consider Zoom, Wayland is better. Well, maybe, you know, this is the case for Microsoft Teams superiority.
First off, fuck your bitch in the click you claim.
I don't know if Microsoft Teams works better on Wayland, but that would be funny as hell. Why do you use Teams? Because it works better on Wayland. And I already bought the license. I do like Office 365 better than Google Workspace. I will say that. I will be honest. I've always been honest about that. I like Office 365 better than Google Workspace. And that should say something when a Linux guy is sitting here saying that with a straight face. If you think, oh yeah. Did you see that Trump kept the World Cup trophy, so the winners had to be gifted a replica replacement? Wait, what? That's petty. The dude with flat feet that, you know, couldn't join the military got to win a cup. It was his first ever trophy that was in a participation tribe or pot. Oh. He had to steal it. My boss gets mad when I say that, sorry, there's a bug. He uses a Mac. Well, if I were him, if I were you, I'd say, you know what would fix that? Linux. Let me put it this way. I would rather use Windows with Windows subsystem for Linux than be on a Mac. And you know how funny it is to tease my architect once in a while when he's like, you know, I can't figure out how to get this going. And I'm like, I got it working just fine. Well, how'd you get it working? I just read the instructions for Linux and it just worked. Well, I read the instructions for Mac and it's not. And I'm like, well, that sounds like an issue, not an ish-me. Tease him that way. Like the little script that I had to make to package up my Lambda, because I'm lazy and I make little bash script to package up my Lambda and zip it up so it creates a Python virtual environment and then grabs all the dependencies and then packages it up to a zip file so I don't have to like do all that manually. It wouldn't work on Mac because I did Linux syntax stuff. So, boom, I had to package it up for him. That's crazy. No way. He doesn't even watch soccer. Well, let's get one thing correct. Let's get one thing correct here, okay? It's not soccer. It's football. I have never understood how American football is called football when they barely touch the ball with their foot. The only time the football in American football gets touched with the foot is when the kicker comes out. But then, like, where the hell did the idea of the name soccer come from? Was it when they were like, you know what? It's like, look at that wench over there, soccer! Kicks ball at her face. Was that what happened? I'm just curious here. What was the logic here? Rest of the world, football. Go to Israel. Pizza de raglaim. Translation? All of foot. All of feet. Properly translated, football. Go to France? Football. Go to England, where they speak English. In England, because that's where it came from. Football. Then America's like, no, we gotta call this whole other thing football. And you know what? I think soccer, as you call it, is actually an older sport than American football. So how the hell did that happen? There's third-party Windows 11 that already removed the spyware. Microsoft, what is your idea about it? I don't like that idea. Here's the thing. If you're going to spend that much effort to rip out Microsoft spyware, just install Linux. We've already proven that gaming is fine on Linux, unless you want to play those crappy games with kernel-level anti-cheat. Because the problem is you can't necessarily trust the third parties that are removing the spyware. And then if you do a Windows update, which you do need to do often, there's a chance it just reinstalls all of it. I don't think the average Windows person, okay, maybe not the average one. The average person's kind of basic and just reads their email and checks their web browser and, that kind of thing. The average power user, shall we say, the gamers that customize their computers and all of that kind of stuff, the hobbyists, the professionals that live in Windows, I don't think they realize how much time and energy they waste on Windows to keep Windows the way they want it to Windows. You get a Windows update and suddenly all of your settings get overridden in different ways. Do you know how many times I've had to tweak my Linux box to get it to work the way I want after I, initially did the setup? When I install a new application that I need to configure. But for that application, I barely touch the computer. Every few days, sudo apt update, sudo apt upgrade, flatpak update, reboot, done. Why does USA use their feet as measurement? It's not the USA using feet. This is a holdover from England. If there wasn't weights that actually fell, so for those of you that don't know, the USA almost had the metric system, but the actual weights and measures for the potential metric system, because we wanted to get away from the UK as much as possible. That's why we even spell words differently, to Americanize the words. They sank somewhere in a shipwreck. It's true. It's your story. If it wasn't for that incident hundreds of years ago, we probably would have been using the metric system. And we would have been with the rest of the civilized world! The metric system is superior, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
Oh, that's when I smack the shit out you. I smack the shit out. That's
Carter tried his best. Yeah. A reporter asked Trump if he could sign an executive order to rename soccer football. For the same reason, freezing is 32 degrees Fahrenheit and boiling at sea level is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. What? I missed something? Oh. Hackman craps the bed and Arch crashes and I have to recover Arch because no more VM Linux. KDE or GNOME? I personally use GNOME. I also like KDE, don't get me wrong. But I just couldn't ever get KDE customized the few times I tried it to the UI that I like. I like the Mac-like aesthetic, but I like the Linux environment. That's why I like Pop! OS. It's got GNOME configured to Mac-like behavior out the box. That's all it is. What's up, Seeknay? But yeah. So, maybe tomorrow, maybe this weekend, we'll work on modifying this laptop to at least get it passable for DEF CON uses. And then we still have to update. Use the power of the foot. Oh. And then we're going to also update this guy over here. This right here is my Purism Librem 14 laptop running Cubes OS. This guy's been to DEF CON. This will be its third DEF CON trip. Possibly its last DEF CON trip. Not because anything's wrong with it, it's just I may be replacing this one next year with something newer. It's had a good ride. But I like this laptop. It's a Purism Librem 14. It has a hardware security key to check if there's tampering on the BIOS, as well as it checks the boot files of Cubes OS to see if it's been tampered with. Overkill? Probably, but fine. It's using PGP signatures and HOTP to verify the boot signature. Do you sell your old hardware? Not really. I try to repurpose a lot of my hardware, but I do give it away to kids sometimes because I'm like, kids I know. because it's like, hey, you're interested in tech? Here's some Raspberry Pis. Here's some spare computers. During COVID and the pandemic, when a lot of kids were working from home, I actually went around the neighborhood and I found a bunch of kids that actually didn't have computers in their home because they couldn't afford it, for their own independent studies. So I gave away about 50 Dell Optiplex boxes and all that I just had laying around. They weren't powerful machines by any means, but it was, hey, I would contact the school and I'd say, look, I have these boxes. What do they need to make them run? Like, do they need any specific softwares, things like that? Some of them got straight Linux, and it was just, here it is, here's your browser, do the thing. Some of them, they needed Windows, and I set it up for them, and did the thing. Thoughts on Fedora? I don't wear them much. Unfortunately, as fly as they look, I feel like a lot of the people that wear them now are kind of douchey. Oh, you meant the operating system.
Emotional, damn it!
No, Fedora I think is alright as an operating system. It's not really my preferred operating system, but it's kind of nice from the RHEL side of things. I like it if you're looking for something with the Red Hat kind of vibe of things, but isn't Red Hat. Because I do kind of like Red Hat. I just don't care what IBM's done to it, but I like Red Hat. Because of the security model and stuff and what they've been doing and everything. Yeah. In GNOME, when you add extensions when a major Linux update comes, some extensions don't work. Haven't had that issue in Pop! OS, but I also don't do that much in terms of extensions and everything. I at most add a clipboard extension to allow me to have multiple things on my clipboard, and that's it. Same thing in Windows, where you can do the Start V. A lot of people don't know this. You can have more than one thing in your clipboard in Windows 10 and 11. I think it's 11. Yeah, 10 and 11. You can set it up to actually have multiple things in the clipboard, and then you can hit the Start V to open up your options. I think you have to enable it out of the box. But yeah, multi-item clipboards is a feature that you should have enabled in the year of 2025. Your thoughts on European government switching to open source alternatives? Is there a right sound around here? No, anyway. I think it's a great thing. I think that, more governments should look at open source solutions. I forgot who it was that just took on Open Office. But I really think Microsoft's elitism and their whole monopoly should come crumbling down, because Microsoft has held back innovation. They really have. Just think about Internet Explorer 6 if you were around during that time. If it wasn't for Mozilla Firefox coming around, the internet would have still been stagnated. Open source pushes the envelope for what a lot of people are able to do with their machines. You're even seeing now that people are reporting gaming performance on some games is better on Linux than Windows, and they don't even have to be natively compiled for Linux. Windows has just become such a bloated nightmare. And I'm not sure the proprietary model they have will, is really as sustainable as it once was. At least in the terms of an operating system. Microsoft is going to make more money from services in the long term. I think they would do better by providing Office 365 as a software as a service with full Linux versioning. And I don't mean in the web browser. I think they should actually pursue the licensing model to make it work in Linux. Because you're seeing Linux take over in corporations, and I think that's the better place they have. Because the reality is, when you're talking about like enterprise software, you really only have two options for email and collaboration and productivity suites. Microsoft Office and Google Workspace. I know there's like Open Office and Only Office and a few others out there. You can use Nextcloud, Collab, things like that. But Microsoft Office, let's be honest. If you go to an accountant, and I will admit this too, LibreOffice Calc, pretty nice. Still nowhere near Microsoft Excel. That's the god-awful, honest truth. And until that changes, which means accountants in the mainstream, organizations adopt things other than Microsoft Excel, that's not going to get knocked off. Because when the bean counters know that, it makes more sense. Like, there's still things like with Excel that I run into here and now. I'm like, this makes no sense. In Excel, I can do this. Even some Excel spreadsheets don't translate one-to-one. That's just the honest truth about it. Google Office is the best office suite. I honestly hate Excel. Google Docs is not the best office suite. One of my issues I have with Google Docs is you can't run it offline, and I don't really like Google. And Excel, honestly, you may hate Excel, but spreadsheets run the organizations. I think people feared to switch to Linux generally, the lack of software, and most of them think Linux is pure terminal kind of thing. Yeah, I think a lot of people think it is a pure terminal thing. That's why it shocks a lot of people, as we're about to do in a little second here. Where they're like, wait, you're gaming on Linux? How's the gaming experience? Hold on, I gotta switch up. I need to do my grind on Warframe. For some reason, I honestly thought... I honestly wasn't playing Warframe for like 2 years, and then I got back into it. There is a Linux Office app. Microsoft Office apps? I didn't see a Microsoft Office app. I know you used to be able to run Office apps through Teams. But yeah. The Last of Us runs way better on Linux than Windows. I wouldn't know because I've only played it on Linux, but I didn't seem to have any performance issues with it when I played the little bit that I did. But for some reason, I just got this bug in me that was like, I want to play the Warframe. We'll play, The Last of Us and other games very soon. Not like and I still have my Humble Bundle open for the last while. Year or so. So I just been able to keep collecting games, and eventually we'll get into that. The honest truth is, I wouldn't be opposed to one day becoming a full-time content creator, but it's not my primary ambition. If it happens, that'd be great. It'd be nice to be able to, be like Pirate Software and sit there and just play games all day. But I think the problem with me is I would still be doing tech. And I also wouldn't make a video game that, hasn't been finished in 8 years and drifting off that, but I digress. Oh, probably helps from the right window. The French city of Lyon recently switched to LibreOffice. I saw that. Ever done a full LFS setup? LFS. Linux from scratch? Yeah, I've done it years ago. Before I was actually on TikTok. To give you an idea of how long ago that was.
Front, left. Front, right.
Yeah, that's the app I was talking about. What? Which app? Hold on. Alright, let's get logged in. Because you know, it always, like, bugs me about, like, hey, you know, where's the thing for the login? Danish government is phasing out the use of Microsoft products. Yeah, I can understand that. There may be some cost-saving reasons around that as well, because Microsoft licensing is kind of exorbitant. They've been, you know, abusing their position of where they are with a lot of things. But, hold on. Let's put on a little bit of radio. Yeah, I wish I could just yell on this and say, like, play music, and then it just plays something for me. But, hold on. What do we want? Made for you. Of course. Personal mixes you add will hear. Yeah, well. Radio, 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 radio. See, what do we got? Now. That's an old song I haven't heard in a minute. Send out for what?
A new quest is available in your codex.
Send down for what? In Germany, Schleswig-Holstein is ditching U.S. big tech and working to build an entirely open source, digitally sovereign ecosystem. It's nice to see that they're doing this, because I've seen, like, a lot of European cities been doing that off and on for years, but now they're actually, like, getting into it. And I think that's great.
One of our operatives has been
Turn down for what?
at the station. You must rescue them.
Turn down for what? How do I keep getting stuck? Is it because they don't like Trump? Games schedule one on TikTok live. So I did that because TikTok would be really stupid about a lot of the censorship and things like that unless I picked either Wolfenstein or God damn it. Hit the wrong button and now the game is in the wrong menu.
Available in your codex.
Hold on. So if I hit the super key, it actually just like moves it down. So I guess that's an X11 issue. Or that's a flaw, at least, of Warframe. Cosmic? No, I'm not using Cosmic right now. I'm on Pop OS 2204. Cosmic is still, in, beta. Do you need backup, Chief? I haven't played in years. Well, neither have I. Go. It's 433 in, what is that, Finland? Scandinavia? I don't know what the flag is. Sorry, I'm not a flag dude. I am not Sheldon, who does fun with flags. Oh, I got a friend.
Operatives has been trapped by the infestation. You must rescue them.
Yay! I got my flags right. I are educated.
That was a juggernaut. The death of infested. Lay low and it should go away, or amp up the fight to draw it out.
Come on.
The hell?
Everyone is gone, except our operative.
Why are you doing that?
Detected. We've got infested incoming.
Transference still holding. Lieutenant.
Beware. Those lasers are linked to the poison nodes growing in the airlocks. Contact with the lasers will put our operative in immediate peril.
Trying to like move the screen, but no, it's not doing the... I don't know what is with my game today, but it keeps like moving it around. Hold on. Move app shortcut Pop OS. Okay, so let's see. What's the shortcut? Move window. So let's see. Move window, control direction, resize windows. Manage workspaces. I'll try that. I haven't had issues like this in a while. I haven't had issues with it just popping over to the next window anyway. Wonder if it's because I need to do some updates. Flags. Ohio has a 5-sided flag. Okay, Sheldon. So I'm curious, if I pop out and pop back in... That's interesting. Hold on. Oh, okay, so it's a full screen versus windowed mode issue. Got it. That's what I think it is. So let's try that again. That might explain why I never had the issue before. But it's weird it's shooting it to this monitor, because that monitor is not the primary. This is. Dude from Charlie, don't you know, you'll never get safe from Copperhead Road. I think Trump made Europeans reconsider big tech America for open source. No, I think there's been a sentiment for a while of Europeans wanting to get away from a lot of tech. You got to understand that it's a cultural mindset. Hold on. Order list full screen. Why am I having such issues with this? could remember. Yeah, we're getting back into Warframe. How many monitors in the setup? 3 on this desktop, 2 on this desktop. You bloody fool. You must be cool now, boys. Bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Everything in orders, operator? Is that a pun? I will attempt to bypass this fault.
Alright, we're gonna try this again. I got a Prime Warframe I always wanted to sell. Yeah.
You're here to rescue an operative who has been trapped by the infestation.
Come on.
The OG pirate software. Wait, what?
That was a juggernaut. They were lured out by the death of infested. Lay low.
If you need help, I can come in. I mean,
Fight to draw it out.
I haven't played this in like a couple years, so I'm kind of just messing around.
Anyone predicted.
But I did pass at least the mastery. I just gotta get my shield up. Why am I going down?
The juggernaut. I think you made it.
Must have been a poison cloud there. Okay, I got my shields back, but my health is down a little bit. Yeah, I didn't play Warframe for like 2 years. I used to play it heavily, and then I stopped for whatever reason.
There's a heavy unit approaching. Multiple targets ahead.
Move and strike. We have to win this.
I gotta remember about the abilities. I always forget about the abilities. What's your name in Warframe again? I think it's just Chief Geek 3D. The hell is this song? Okay, Apple Music, you did not get me right. Apparently this is an old playlist I had from like high school. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just Chief Geek 3D on here.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
This game is really well optimized. I used to play this on my ThinkPad with low settings. Yeah, it is actually a really well optimized game. I'm still surprised about that.
That was a close one.
Come on. This is Pop OS.
Let's go.
Beware. Those lasers are linked to the poison channel.
Hey, Mario. What's up?
Contact with the lasers will put the operative in immediate peril. Bypass complete. You may proceed.
Oh, I can't accept it until after I finish the game. Such smooth, so frame rate. Yeah, and this is on a 3070. It still works pretty nicely.
Thank you, Tenno.
You found the operative. Now bring them home.
Alright, where do we have to head? Alright, half a click this way.
Got an extra weapon? They won't just let us walk out of here.
Stay focused. There's
Okay.
a heavy infestation ahead.
For the Tenno.
Eat shit and die, motherfucker. Come on. The hell was my taste years ago? I didn't really pick through the playlist. I just kind of picked a random one I had.
Attack us and we will counter.
Do you have a tech question? I mean, you can go ahead and ask it. That wasn't a tech question. That was just a question. All right, where do we go? Be what you want me to be. I don't want to do what you want me to do. I have a good Warframe runs on my Nix OS drive. It runs really well. And I haven't had any issues playing it on Linux, especially since I reinstalled it. That invite didn't work, Mario. Ever played with 40 Authenticator? Not heard of that. It's boo, baby. Be what you want me to be. I don't wanna do what you want me to do unless it's you, baby.
Our position has been compromised. Defend the cargo until reinforcements arrive.
Coordinate 2FA authentication solution. Are you using SteamOS? No, I'm using PopOS. There's really no reason to use SteamOS. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're using it, fine, but there's no reason to, like, use it per se over another one if you like the workflow. It's all the same thing underneath the hood. My brother does Roblox live stream. His webcam gets pixelated when he's playing a fast game. He has a good PC and near connection and the settings are perfect, no BS. Does Linux fix this? So I'm actually running a 2-PC stream setup, to be clear here. So one PC is doing all the work of streaming, the other work is doing just what it needs to focus on. Linux doesn't necessarily, well, Linux is more optimized, but if you're talking about, what's the word? I mean, you'd have to look at the specifics there. And when you say the webcam gets pixelated, that sounds like a bandwidth issue locally to the machine. See, I'm also using a capture card for all of my stuff. So it's doing processing independent of all that. No, I'm not talking about bandwidth in terms of data. I'm talking about bandwidth locally in terms of the system bus. Like maybe your CPU's getting overwhelmed or something and it's deprioritizing the USB web camera. So there may be an issue with your process affinity. What do they call that? I think it is affinity in Windows. We call it the nice value in Linux. Ooh, almost got off there. And I'm not saying that you need to get a dual PC set up. It makes things nicer. I only did it because I happen to have 2 PCs available to do it. And then one originally was just there for like some CAD cam, Windows editing and stuff like that.
Unless you can handle more of the enemy. Continue to defend. You will be rewarded for your bravery.
For the Tenno.
Someday. But yeah, I would definitely run Task Manager with your stuff. If you're pixelating and everything like that, and see what's possibly the bottleneck. It could be your CPU, and then it's prioritizing what's in front of it rather than the webcam. There could also be some power settings that, you know, it's kind of hard to say without actually tinkering with it. What the hell is this playlist?
Attack us and we will counter.
I'm gonna have to change this out for a little bit of something in a little second. I just like pulled up an old playlist in Apple Music, not even thinking about it. Forgot how much bad music I was into back in the day. What wave are we on? Oh, this is wave 5. Is Warframe native support for Linux? I think it's running in Proton, but it works really well. I've been playing it for a couple of years. I took a break for a couple, but I didn't have any issues.
For the Lotus.
Okay, come on. Come forth, my progeny.
Any of y'all see the feeds light up? It's going down, kids.
Boom, bam, baby.
Reinforcements available.
Okay,
You
cool.
choose to leave now or continue fighting.
I'm a
We're done. The
gigolo.
extraction team will take over from here. Time to evacuate.
Alright, let's see what we got. Hold on, let's see what music we got. There we go. What's up, Mario? Have you ever tried to get League Valorant working on Linux? No, they don't work on it. And even if they did, there's better games out there. League of Legends used to work on Linux, from my understanding. But then they put the, kernel level anti-cheat on, and it broke it. As we know it.
Ordis reminds the operator to take time for themselves. Pressure creates diamonds, yeah.
I was wondering about Vanguard on Ubuntu. Yeah, Valorant, League of Legends, and a few other games don't work because of kernel level anti-cheat, but that's because devs don't want to actually invest properly in fixing their, cheating issues.
Enemy's planetary communication towers.
Wait, what are we doing? Oh, towers.
Long enough to decode incoming messages.
Let's go.
What about Hoyoverse games, since they don't have native support for Linux? You don't need native support. So we use a thing called Proton, which is a combination of, DXVK and Wine and a couple other things to translate into, Vulkan calls for,
You must capture a tower, and quickly.
Hold on, sorry. Brain. So basically, it's a compatibility layer that it's running between, Linux and, the applications.
The enemy has all 4 towers.
Most of the games I play don't run natively on Linux. We use Proton to make it work. Now you're making me mad.
Attack us and we will counter.
They're moving to Linux before October for official Win 10 support. Recently started Warframe. I didn't recently. I took like a close to 2-year break.
This tower is ours.
Let's go on the offensive.
Oh, that's my dude.
We are in total control. Fighting.
Okay, we captured Delta. We got all 4, so now we just gotta kick ass. So I was wondering what to expect. Well, some games won't work on Linux because of kernel level anti-cheat. Not because they can't work on Linux, but because developers won't use a anti-cheat that's, compatible. And that's getting to be smaller and smaller amount because people really want to play games on the Steam Deck. However, there was a game like Mecha Break, didn't work on Linux.
Move and strike. We have to win this.
But Warframe, as you see, works perfectly fine. So, best to look at Proton DB to see what will work for games. Exactly. Not every game will work, but Steam's policy is at least a little bit reasonable, so, you can at least try making the game work. And if it doesn't work, refund. Okay, we're almost there. Oh, somebody left. Wait, is it just me? Am I? No, wait. I think Mario lost connection.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Come on.
Let's go to Bravo.
The remaining enemies must report back to their command. Eliminate everyone.
Seek and destroy, bitches.
Enemy have deployed fierce reinforcements. Are you willing to stay and decode more messages?
How's Warframe's performance on Linux? Oh, I think it's great. I haven't had issues, and I had started playing this like 2 years ago. Took a break for... No, I started playing it 3 years ago. Took a break for a couple years, and came back, and the performance has never really been an issue on it.
Tower captured. Beginning stream.
There's actually quite a large community of Linux gamers for Warframe.
Coming. You have captured.
Now let's go to Charlie.
Attack us and we will counter.
The enemy have captured a tower.
My specs aren't anything too crazy. It's a 3070 and a 5950X. Not an X3D or anything, and I haven't had any issues with performance.
We have control of all 4 towers. We have lost control of the tower. Stay focused. There's a
Game overheated on me? I mean, it overheated on you.
That was a close one.
What, do you run on a handheld console or something? That's cool, bud. Had this PC for 5 years. Oh, so you probably got to repaste it, redo the thermal paste. Windows 10 now, debating just going Windows 11 or Linux. Then just do Linux. If Warframe's your main game, just do Linux. Oh, gaming laptop? Yeah, maybe crack it open or at least shoot some dust into it. But if it's 5 years old and you haven't repasted the thermal, oh, you already did that? Maybe your fans are clogged or something. It shouldn't, you know... Well, it's a laptop, so depending on the thermal design of the laptop, it could be capturing heat. I mean, trapping heat.
tower lost.
Oh, it's a Dell. Oh.
The enemy have taken a tower. You must.
Don't get me wrong, Dells are great, like work laptops and all that, but gaming laptops from Dell are meh. Now, the Tuxedo computer laptop that I got, native Linux with an NVIDIA 4070 in it, actually has some good thermals in it. I also think I will be taking of course, a stream break while I'm in Vegas for DEF CON. But I might do some IRL streams, poolside or that, no guarantees. They'll be on Twitch primarily. I'm just being honest with you.
Move and strike. We have to win this.
Focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Just because if I do an IRL stream, it's going to be on a phone. I can't multi-stream. Need to get a gaming desktop. Yeah, a gaming desktop definitely gives you a lot better thermals because you can put it in a nice case and have a decent amount of airflow and everything. Because I know this Fractal Design Meshify 2XL barely has any thermal issues, especially because I have a Noctua NHD 15, I think it is, on this 5950X, and then plenty of airflow around the NVIDIA 3070.
Nest coded. Leave none alive. Clear out the remaining enemy forces.
Come to daddy!
More data is being broadcasted. Are you willing to risk going back into the field? They are broadcasting another message. Make sure the enemy never receives it.
Wait. I think there's a song in here.
This tower is ours now.
Let's go on the offensive.
This wasn't the song I was thinking of, but, well, this'll do for now.
Tower lost.
Appreciate a good journey on Warframe. Kind of envy Flayer's first time experience of the story. Yeah, I haven't actually done most of the storyline. I just got my, dude. The, pilot. I just got my pilot
Enemy have captured it.
when I, like, stopped playing a couple years ago. Like, as you can see, like, oh, you can't see, but I just hit rank 10. Or mystery rank 9. Mastery rank 9.
We are in total control. Keep fighting. Tower lost.
Yeah, no performance issues on Linux. So basically, you're a gamer. I mean, yeah, but I also am a cybersecurity content creator. That's primarily what I do, and gaming on Linux and... Okay, neutralizing Charlie. Charlie bit my finger!
The enemy have captured a tower. This tower is ours now. The enemy have taken the tower.
It was a little bit of a fight for that one.
For the Tenno.
We have lost control of the tower.
Which tower do we lose? Alpha? Okay. Where the hell do we need to go? Okay, we're at Charlie. Let's neutralize this. The place to look up games compatible with Linux, or is it spread around? ProtonDB. If you go to protondb.com, it'll give you a breakdown of a lot of the games that, especially the ones on Steam, that you can check it out. And they rank them by, like, platinum, gold, silver, bronze. There is it, platinum? Native, I think, is that, but yeah. They're going after Delta.
Let's go.
Ah! Couldn't see shit. Fortnite is not one of them. Oh yeah, because Fortnite sucks.
You cannot allow the enemy to learn about espionage. Eliminate the remaining enemy personnel.
You want to hit those high notes? You gotta mean it.
Still out. Still out.
Extraction is available, but there are more messages to be decoded. Will you stay or go? Try and capture another signal. Be careful though. The enemy has surely rallied stronger reinforcements. The data you have collected here
Alright, we at least completed that mission.
supporting our cause.
Credit where credit is due. 100,000 credits. How many edgy kids play Fortnite for me to enjoy it? Yeah, that's the problem with a lot of the great games is, you know, they're ruined by kids. Can't stand them squeakers. Oh no, the song I was looking for isn't on here.
Additional life support has arrived.
This is the song I was looking for earlier. Oh, yeah. It's at my parents' dinner. Oh,
Replenished.
and that I'm a winner.
Prepare for life support.
They're going nuts. Whoa! Yeah! Whoa! Yeah! take pause to come down, yeah, coke for the confidence, all kinds of pills. If she had the money, she would do the check for a challenge, ask her for the love of it, and drink it just for fun. And this is why I set the game as Schedule 1, because TikTok would have banned me just for that line. I haven't heard this song since, college. I was like, oh, I forgot about this. I should play this.
The raid is off to a successful start. Extraction is available.
Thank you, Superman. Yeah! Whoa, yeah! She takes pot to come down, yeah, coke for the confidence, all kinds of pills. If she had the money, she would do the puffer for a challenge. As for the love of it, and drink it just for fun. My girlfriend's on drugs.
Life support activated. Other life support capsule is now available.
From LA, Los Angeles. Your allowance exceeds my rent. Where the hell do I need to go? Everything's so fucking rude. Okay, come on. Fucking high five. I haven't listened to Big D and the Kids Table in a long time. My hands got good tonight. Come on. Where do we need to go? Tonight, that's enough. Come on. Come on. Here, to those that are like, how's the performance on Linux? Look at all the crap that we have going on, and it's still just fine.
We will all share this party. Hold out as long as you can. I've delivered another life support capsule.
Come on. God damn it. Going on a bender this weekend. I'm gonna get real drunk. I'm not gonna be able to sleep in. I'll pass out on the floor. I won't be able to answer the door. I'm going on a bender this weekend. I'm gonna get real drunk. I'm not gonna be able to speak in. I'll pass out on my floor. Won't be able to answer the door. That you only like me because I take you away from her. She said, only like me, because I'm gonna take you away from her. Now that's alright, she said. You only like me, because I take you away from her. In the air, in the air. And then down with the crowd. Gotta get that crystal. I hit the wrong key. I won't be able to answer the door. Dun, 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 dun. Bender this weekend. Gonna get real drunk. I'm not gonna be able to speak in. I'll pass out on my floor. Won't be able to answer the door. She said, you only like me because I take you away from her. Well, that's alright, you said. You only like me because I take you away from her. Because I take you away from her. Everything's hands in the air. Moving around in the crowd. Then I just moving. And I'm moving in the system crowd. How long am I supposed to survive this?
Life support has been replenished.
Jag carpet. There we go.
The more successful we will be.
God damn it.
Additional life support has arrived.
Cool. Thank y'all. Window, let's make life a living hell. Okay, come on. Play Enlisted on Linux. Enlisted, or whatever you're saying. Sorry. Just want to catch me a quick glance because I was a little busy. What are we trying to do? 'Cause I know this is survival, but I'm not very clear on what the goal is.
Life support activated.
Yeah, let's shoot a shot. Need be stopped. It's shit. Noise complaint. Noise complaint.
Another life support capsule is now available.
Is this survival mission just the farm crap? Like, I'm trying to figure out. 'Cause it doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon.
Look what our Tenno operative just found. They could not do this without...
Speak of the devil, I think that's it. One of them just fell. There we go. Completed that mission. Steady ride in my soul. Music, a steady ride in my soul. All right. What does it take to get to the next mastery rank? Hold on. Where was that friend invite? But yeah, I think I'm gonna be, maybe calling it a night. Because I do want to get to bed just a tad early, because I do gotta get to work tomorrow. We'll probably be playing, Warframe a little bit more. I just got the bug to play it a little bit more recently. I saw a friend streaming it, so I was like, what the hell, we'll do it. And then, of course, I'm hoping I'll have the energy up so that we'll start modifying this laptop to get it ready for DEF CON. We'll get my Cubes OS laptop ready for DEF CON. We'll get my Parrot OS laptop ready for DEF CON. Well, I may just use Parrot OS as a VM. I don't really need it all that much. It might be fun to do some CTFs and stuff like that. But, yeah, we'll figure it out. We're getting close there. But if you haven't already, make sure to follow me on all of my socials. I'm on Blue Sky, I'm on Mastodon, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitch, the TikToks, the Kicks, and all that stuff. I'm not on Twitter, though, because F that place. But yeah, you can find me on all the socials, links in bio as well. And of course, if you haven't already, join the Discord and the Matrix server. Links in the bio for all that stuff. And I may be back on to stream tomorrow. No guarantee. It's been kind of weird with the schedule and everything. But for sure, I'm normally on Sundays and Mondays right now because of things are being crazy. But once... after DEF CON, we'll be returning to my Sunday, Monday, Wednesday stream schedule with intermittent Tuesdays and Thursdays. And, of course, movie nights over in the Discord on Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. But thank you all for joining me. Love all of you. Happy hacking. Stay safe. And, of course, as always, if you can choose to be anything in this world, choose to be kind. Love y'all. Stay safe. Happy hacking. And I will see you next stream. Stick around for the raid if you're over on Twitch. Otherwise, peace!